storytelling is essentially an art that has to be learned, that has to be understood, and that has to be practiced. And for that, we have a special person here today who has a flair for storytelling. I personally love her storytelling, and she is a courageous, bold, and beautiful lady from the Manchester of South India, Coimbatore. She's also a senior project manager from Bosch. I welcome Toastmaster Janani Arumugam to the virtual dais to take over and help us understand the art of storytelling. Over to you, Janani.
Thank you so much. What an energy, Bhavna. Thank you so much for setting the stage for me. I'll quickly share my screen before we go ahead. Do let me know if all of you can see my screen.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So I am from Tamil Nadu. I'm from Coimbatore. So I would like to start with Vanakkam, everybody. So you are 7 years old. It's evening. The sky has just turned that deep, beautiful orange, the kind that happens only in your hometown. The kitchen smells on something warm. Maybe my mother is making my favorite rasam, or maybe a rice on the stove. And somewhere in the house, my party walks into the corner quietly without any announcement. She pours a little oil, adjusts the wick, and lights the lamp. No speech, no explanation, no as per the agenda item number one, just light. And somehow the whole house feels so different, calm, and more alive. That lamp, that kuttuvelakku, has been lit in Tamil homes for thousands of years. Nobody had to tell us why. We just knew because the light itself told the story. That is what a great story does, my dear friends. It doesn't explain, it illuminates. And for the next 30 minutes, we are going to learn how to do exactly that. How to tell stories that don't just inform people but light up the beautiful room. Welcome to the art of storytelling. I hope all of you are with me. Before we dive in, I would like to ask a question to all of you. Let's have a conversation for a couple of minutes. What do you think is a story?
Creativity.
Beautiful, creativity, then
Imagination.
imagination, fantastic.
Bringing
Real life
all to
experience.
the present.
Wow, okay.
It conveys something meaningful.
Conveys something meaningful. Okay. Now, may I ask all of you to close your eyes? Close your eyes. Now, think of the last time someone said, "Hey, let me tell you something," and you actually leaned in. What made you to listen to them? Now, my dear friends, you can open your eyes now. That leaning in moment, that's the story doing its job. Well, a story is not a report. A story is not the list of facts. A story is a human experience, it's a human connection arranged in a way that makes another human feel something. For example, I spoke about my party. I talk a lot about my party when it comes to story because she is an amazing storyteller. She makes this beautiful tovail called Vallare tovail. Vallare is a herb, it's a medicinal herb. When she makes it, it looks very dark with a lot of coconut and tamarind in it. She just don't serve the tovail. Whenever she makes it, she tells me a story that how much my tata loved that tovail. Whenever they both had a fight, looks like she used to make the towel. And when my tata takes a pinch of towel and keep it in tip of his tongue. With the feeling of tamarind, he looks at my party and always smiles at her. And that's the end of their fight. We lost a tata, we lost my tata 10 years back, but even now, whenever I taste that Vallari towel, I remember my party and I remember my tata. What is so beautiful about it is she just didn't make the towel. She also told me a story which is connected to that towel, right? So that's the beautiful emotion that is connected to the story, which is extremely important for it, right? How many of you have given a presentation where you saw people checking their phones or looking at their watches? But on the other side, how many of you have listened to a story and lost a track of time? But that is the difference that we are here to talk about today. I would like to ask you a question that we've been hearing these stories for thousands of years, like Mahabharata, Ramayana, Tenali Raman, so many stories. Now, why the stories are traveling and remembered generations and generations? Why do you think it's very powerful?
Because it's
They
fixes in
are
our mind and
easy to remember.
yeah.
Easy to remember.
We are able,
Fantastic.
yeah,
The way
we are able to
the way
visualize.
they narrate also matters.
Absolutely. So when I checked Google, it gave me a message that a Stanford study found stories are 22 times more memorable than facts alone. Look at it, 22 times. 22 is a very, very big number, isn't it? But you really do not need Stanford to do that and tell you that. Ask any person about Tiruvalluvar and they will quote a kural that they learned at the age of 8. Why? Because stories do 3 things that brain loves. Our brain loves these 3 things so much. They create something called neural coupling. As any of you know what is neural coupling? Okay. So when you hear a story, your brain literally mirrors the storyteller's brain. You're not just listening. Sometimes you are living it. That is what is called neural coupling. And this is triggered by a story. And number 2, they trigger dopamine. The suspense and emotions in the story release the dopamine. That I must know what happens next. That chemical. Sometimes when you listen to somebody, you will be waiting for what is the plot? What is the twist? Tell me what happened to that person, isn't it? So that is what dopamine is. And it's why you stay up until 2 a.m. watching a Tamil thriller that then blamed the director that he did not make it properly or gave you a good ending, right? And the last but not the least is they attach meaning to the memory. The brain actually discards facts. It keeps the meaning. Stories gives facts meaning. That's why grandmothers, especially my party's wisdom, through stories and not via this PowerPoint slides. Now, our very favorite Tiruvalluvar wrote 1,330 couplets over 2,000 years ago, and people still recite them. Why? Because each kural is a small story with a very big truth. That's the power of the story format, and it outlives the storyteller itself. And the most important thing is what a good story should have. As we are talking about the art of storytelling, what a good story should have. What do you think a story should have in your own words?
Some characters.
Fantastic.
Twists.
Twist. I love twists. Then
Triggers our sensories.
sensories. Okay.
Needs to have a message story.
Emotions.
Message. Hmm. Very good. Absolutely. So a powerful story is not random. I always say it's an architecture and it really needs 6 invisible pillars to hold it up. Number 1 is a character. And number 2 could be a conflict, context, data and truth, emotions, and a point. A character is someone the audience can see themselves in. So when I say my friend Naveen is very good, very handsome, tall looking, dark guy, in the audience, there could be someone who thinks, who really feels he is Naveen, right? So that, and there is always a need of conflict in a story. If there is no tension in the story, which means there is no attention from the audience. And number 3 is a context. There should be a time, there should be a place, a situation, and the ground of the story. And the next is the data and the truth. So one real fact gives story a beautiful credibility, like my party's Valare Tovel, right? And the next is the emotion, the hook that makes the story very unforgettable forever. That's very important. And the last but not the least is the emotion, a point on why are you actually telling the story? Whether did you foresee any change because of the story, or are you expecting a change, a call to action from the audience? That's very important. So I would like to quote an example of 2015 in Chennai. All of us were in floods, the Chennai floods, and Rajan, an auto driver who was earning just 400 rupees a day, just 400 rupees a day, he hasn't eaten from morning. But when he saw a pregnant woman standing in the floods asking for help, he drives her to the hospital. And when she asked, Anna, how much should I pay? He said, Anna, he said, Amma, today I am not the auto driver, I am your brother. How beautiful, isn't it? So the generosity is a point that I would like to highlight in the story. What is the context? The context is 2015 Chennai floods, the city is underwater. And what are the characters? The character is the auto rickshaw driver named Rajan, who earns only 400 a day, which means he is a poor guy. And what is the data? This flood, over 500 auto drivers in Chennai, where again, like Rajan supporting so many people for free of charge. And what is the conflict here? Rajan might have a wife. Rajan might have 2 to 3 kids at home waiting for him to come back with food and money. He himself hasn't eaten, but there is a pregnant woman standing on the road. This is the conflict. And what is the emotion in the story? Rajan drives her to the hospital. When she asks how much, he says, I am not a driver today, Ma. I am your brother. That's the emotion connected to the story. And what is the point here? Generosity doesn't wait for the right time. It is the time. So these are the 6 important pillars. Whenever you want to deliver a story, you will have to keep track of these 6 pillars. You have to make sure that these 6 pillars are strong in your story to be very impactful. And the next, how do you deliver a powerful story? So I always say that great storytelling is not about having a great story. Every story is a great story. It is the way how you tell the story greatly. So what all is extremely important when you deliver a powerful story? The specificity is extremely important. The sensory detail, a human voice, the tension that you create, the curiosity that you create among the audience, and a moment of character is extremely important. So if you follow all this, I'm pretty sure that we can deliver a powerful story. I would like to highlight a story that happened couple of years ago. I asked my cook Shanti Akka for a favor and she said no. And I felt very surprised because she usually helps. Later, I realized that she has her own priorities and we should respect people's boundaries. This taught me that saying no is important. Do you think what I said is a powerful story? Do you think it's a powerful story? Do you think it has some emotions connected to it? There is no action, there is no sensory detail, no voice, no emotions, no tension. For me, it is just a summary and it's not a story. What could be the powerful version of the same story? 2 years back, it was 10 a.m. on a Saturday morning. Guests were coming to my house at 11 a.m. And I asked Shanti Akka to make biryani, one chicken gravy. She was already preparing that. So this sudden arrival of guest, I told Shanti Akka, can you make one sweet pal payasam, please? Just one extra dish. The pressure was building. My phone kept buzzing. I could really hear the vessels clanging in the kitchen. And I could feel the urgency rising in my chest because the guest is going to be in the house in the next 1 hour. But Shanti Akka looked at me. She didn't rush. She didn't explain. She simply looked at me and said, Janani ma, I have to go to another house in 30 minutes. I will spend only 1.5 hours in your house. If you ask me to make one more payasam, I'll have to spend another 30 to 40 minutes in your house. It's not possible. Sorry. And in that moment, I just stood there. No argument, no justification, just a clear, calm no from Shanti Akka. That no stayed with me for years together. Not because she refused, but because she respected her time enough to say it without guilt. And I really wondered how she was able to do it, which I wasn't able to do that in 20 years of my work experience to my boss. I was thinking, when was the last time I said no like that? That day, Shantiaka didn't just cook in my house. She taught me the most powerful leadership lesson. Boundaries don't need explanations. Clarity is kindness. And sometimes a simple no is the strongest leadership statement. Now, look at this story. What do you think was better when compared to the first and the second? What are your takes?
It had all the specific details, like the Saturday 10 a.m. And your friends continuously calling. So it all these specifics build up to those emotions.
Absolutely, absolutely, Saro. Anybody else?
I was able to
First one was
visualize
a
what was
statement.
happening.
True, absolutely correct. You always have to start in action. I've seen people say, I want to tell you a story about. No, just begin. Drop them into the scene directly. 10 a.m. Saturday morning, guests coming. The audience are in the scene with you. Number two, the sensory, the sounds, the pressure, the urgency. Don't say for example, you want to say it was hot. Say the road shimmered like a mirage on ECR at noon in May. Now the audience feel it. They feel the heat. And number three, the direct dialogue. Give your character a voice. One line of dialogue changes everything. It makes them real, not a prop in your story. Like what all Shanti Akka told me, right? The character's voice is extremely important. And the most important thing which we always ignore when we tell a powerful story is the pause. Pause is a very, very powerful element in a story. The silence moment, whenever you can. Silence is definitely not a mistake. It's a space where the audience leans in. It's very important. Always use your silence after the most important line or when you want to have a call to action time from the audience. And very important thing is land the emotion before the lesson. Make them feel first, teach second, and never the other way around. That's very important if you want to deliver a powerful story. Reflection first and then takeaway. So now we spoke about what all is important in a story. How do you make someone remember you through your story? That's also important, right? Sometimes it is important that how do you make someone remember you? This is my formula that I always use. Memorable story is equal to a specific person plus unexpected moment plus universal truth. I would like to take an example of Dr. Kalaignar Karunanidhi. So I've attended one of his meetings when it was held at Madurai, where he spoke about poverty in Tamil Nadu. He is a fantastic orator. He never started any of his meetings with data because the crowd is like thousands and thousands of people. I'm pretty sure people would have not enjoyed if he had said, my dear people, 37% of Tamil Nadu is suffering from poverty. Instead, he said, at Madurai, a 5-year-old girl was able to eat just one idli, and half of the idli she shared it with a stray dog, a stray puppy. That touched thousands of people. The emotion that he brought in to convey the poverty as a message is like so powerful. So 4 weeks to make your story your identity. You have to be very, very specific. Don't say, I went to the city and I got this. Please be specific. I went to Madurai and I met this woman, a beautiful woman. No, Kavita, a beautiful woman. And she must be of age 34, 35 years old. So people will start imagining the Kavita whom they want, how the Kavita needs to look like. And the next important thing is be consistent. Have 2 to 3 stories you tell brilliantly. When I say that, you really have to work on the 6 pillars that we saw before and deliver the story brilliantly. Instead of telling so many stories badly, work on a couple of stories and see how you're able to deliver that. And next is be vulnerables. So many times we will fail when we are delivering the stories. It might not reach the audience, it might not land with the audience, but that is okay. My suggestion is whenever you feel the stories did not land, go back home, rework on the story, see what exactly is missing on the story. Because trust me, the failed stories really help you to understand how you could become better. So it's important to accept that, okay, it was not a successful delivery of story. And last is create a loop. End where you begin. Right? Sometimes it's very important to start with something and then close with what you started. People really love that. And even for someone who is delivering that, it's very satisfying. Moving on.
By the way,
The
you ought to do
more
a screen share, Janani.
oh
The screen share.
oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, the screen stopped. Oh, sorry for
Yeah.
that. Okay, sorry for that. And in the meantime, are we on track? Are we on time? Or
Raji?
Yes, it's 4 minutes to go.
okay, sure. I didn't know that the screen stopped sharing.
It happened when the timekeeper showed the green card.
Ah, okay, understood. Is it okay now?
Yeah. Can put it in
All right.
slideshow mode.
All right, sure. Okay, so I think we were at the moral of the story. All right. So now I would like to talk about, we saw about how to make someone remember you through, which is extremely important. And what is also important is every story worth telling carries one truth so sharp, so clear that it travels without the storyteller. The story eventually ends. Every story will end, but the moral, it walks out of the room with the audience. Now, trust me, the Shantiaka story that I told you will travel with you forever. That the importance of saying no. That Shantiaka, my house help, my cook is able to say no that I wasn't able to say. Right? Remember Tenali Raman, our very favorite Tenali Raman. His stories are like 500 years old. By that time, there were no YouTube, no podcast. But yet, every Indian child knows him. Why? Because every story ends with the sharp truth, enough to cut, but delivered with so much of laughter. That's very important. So when we talk about moral, there are three rules which is very important. Don't state it, just reveal it. The audience should discover the moral like they discovered the twist in Vikram Veda movie, right? Earned revelation hits harder than the declared conclusion. And make it in one sentence. If your moral needs 3 paragraphs, trust me, it's not a moral, it is a meeting agenda. Leave it. Number 3, make it universal. The story can be from Coimbatore, Trichy, Madurai, Salem, anywhere, but the moral must be human. It must cross every zip code. That is extremely important. And I would also like to touch the soul of the story. What is the soul of the story? You can get every element right that we discussed now, the structure, the data, the conflict, the delivery, and still tell a story that falls flat. The story is not interesting at all because something is missing, which is the soul of the story. The soul of the story is the answer to this one question. Why does this story matter to me? And why should it matter to you? If I want to deliver a story of Shanti Akka, I have to really think, does this story matter to me? And will this create some change or call to action with the audience? The question that every great storyteller answers before they open their mouth. This is a very, very important question. The soul comes from truth, not perfect truth, not polished truth, the real truth. For example, the example of real truth is our mothers calling us sapdavanga, right? That one line has so many truth behind it, isn't it? So that is extremely important. That's the soul of your story. So moving on to my very last slide. As we spoke about Kuttu Velakku in the beginning, in every Tamil home, the flame doesn't know its tradition, it just burns fully without asking whether anyone is watching. That is the soul of the story, my dear friends. Before you tell any story, if you could tell this one sentence, what would it be? If you can answer that, you have the soul. Everything else that you say in the story is like a beautiful vessel that carries the story completely. That's very, very important. If you have everything in the story and not the soul, the story might not land at all. Telling a story is a culture. Listening to one is joyful. So I really wish this team become a fantastic storytellers and make so many people happy listening to you. Thank you so much for having me. Back to you, Bhavana.